the seat. When she was reading the citation, I listened and I was wondering within me who she was talking about. That couldn't have been me. When I'm introduced like this, I normally sing a song, but I'm not going to sing it today. I normally sing, "All the glory must be to the Lord." Yeah. The Chief Medical Director, Lautech Hospital, the Chairman Medical Advisory Committee, the Director of Administration, other members of the management team of the teaching hospital, beloved university administrators, distinguished gents, ladies and gentlemen. Let me just start by saying, give yourself a pat on the back. Like if I want to say, I'll just start Olayinka. Olayinka, Olanike, push it. Greet yourself, celebrate yourself. You are doing wonderfully well. You know, I listened to our daddy here, and even you, sir, director. You know, they said so many good things about you. It must mean that you are doing what you are expected to do. And you know what? Every deed done, good or bad, is a seed. It will germinate. It will bear fruit. Whether the fruit will abide or not, of course it will abide. But are we sowing good seeds or are we sowing bad seeds? From today, let's be careful of the kind of seeds we sow, because they are coming back to us and our children who weren't there when we were doing what? So, there is this word that has been my principle. Whatsoever a man soweth, so shall he reap. I want to talk about emotional intelligence. There is no denying the fact that emotional intelligence plays a big role in determining who we relate with, how we relate with them, our successes, in short, our overall well-being. I've been given how many minutes? 45. So when it's 40, then you know. I hope you did not cancel the song. It is what helps us communicate effectively and build relationships, some of which may be lifelong as we journey from the office to the living room, and from our middle age to working years on to retirement. Like I said, this presentation will therefore look at emotional intelligence at work, home, and at retirement. So, whether you have just started your working years or you are midway or even at a quarter to retire, there is something for you in this presentation. So I take the introduction. A story was once told of a manager who was driving in his new Jeep. Being in a residential neighborhood, he was on the lookout for children who used to cross the street sometimes thoughtlessly. As he surveyed the beauty of the car he was driving, he felt a big bang on the passenger side door. You know, a new car. He applied the brakes almost immediately, parked and alighted, only to see that the brake thrown at the Jaguar had attracted scratch and invisible dents. Can you imagine a new car? He looked round and grabbed the only child in sight. What have you done? Can your parents even pay for this? What has come over you? He bellowed. With tears streaming down his face, the stupefied little boy said, "I am sorry. I did it because no one else would stop." That means people had been passing, and he has been beckoning to them to stop, but none did. And he just felt, okay now. I'm something street before. So he picked a stone and said, "The next car I will stone it," and he did. The manager quaked and loosened his hold on the boy's collar. Pointing to the other side of the road, the young boy continued, "I did it because of my brother. He fell off his wheelchair. He is wounded and I cannot lift him alone. He is too heavy for me." When we are working in our offices, let's be on the lookout for this kind of people that are falling off their wheelchairs, that cannot stand, that cannot do anything on their own. Let's watch faces. Let's move near people. Let's ask them, "Would you ever come in? What is the problem? Are you passing through anything?" That is emotional intelligence. Seeing the boy beside the wheelchair was the turning point. The man ran towards the boy, lifted him and checked his wounds as he set him back on the chair. He watched as the young boy pushed his brother towards their house. The young boy pushed his brother. The person sitting next to you is your brother. The person sitting next to you is your sister. So do not be like, "I don't care whatever she could be passing through. All I want is let her deliver my job." That is not how to be. His walk back to the car was slower than usual, and he deliberately left the dent unrepaired. The reason, according to him, was to remind himself not to go through life so fast that someone would need to throw a brick to catch his attention. People are throwing bricks, but we are not bothered. That is not how to live life. In our neighborhoods, people are throwing bricks. In December, they threw bricks. They came to beg for even a cup of rice. Did we budge? Or we were bellowing at them, "Leave my gates, leave me alone." As leaders, we need to have a listening ear and be in control of our emotions so that followers will need to use extreme measures to catch our attention. There won't be any need for aluta. If only we can listen to one another, if only we can watch one another's body language. Now, what is emotional intelligence? Simply put, emotional intelligence is the ability to understand, control, and utilize emotions positively, to diffuse conflict, achieve good communication, establish empathetic interpersonal relationships, and overcome challenges. Simply put, in Yoruba language, emotional intelligence is what? Now, in other words, it involves the perception, usage, understanding, evaluation, and management of emotions. Since we are still working, I will talk more on emotional intelligence at work so that we can see where we need to up our games as administrators. Why emotional intelligence is important at work? A normal work setting is characterized by positive values, respect and understanding, commitment to excellence, cooperation, and sometimes open communication. One thing is also sure, no matter the amount of artificial intelligence deployed and the number of machines, the work environment is still populated by humans. At least I can say that of Africa. Because we like, our people having our people around us. When I was growing up, nobody should laugh. When I was growing up, I had it in mind to have children as few as 8. Why? Because I love people around me. I love to come in and let them say, "Mommy, welcome, But when I had the number I had, unfortunately I discovered people was still all around me. So we had to stop. You will agree that to relate with humans, especially as a leader, you need emotional intelligence. If we must make a success of our careers, we need emotional intelligence. Moreover, your staff look up to you and want you to empathize with them in their low moments, in spite of your own personal challenges. Yes, as a leader, you have your personal challenges, but you have to just wrap it around you and pretend there's nothing wrong with you so that you could attend to those who are working for you. Now, they want to be treated as humans and not just as numbers. Do you know that some leaders extinguish the morale of their team members? When I was in UI, we used to have a deputy registrar. When I first joined the camp, we are standing in the corridor. I'll just see people, they'll just speak great. What was it there? I just saw the man. He was coming towards me. Everybody deserted him. I was sitting outside. And I was alone. I was standing alone. And when he came, I went on my knees and checked it. He said, but I shouldn't hear me. And I was your papa. He said, you know what? After a while, I had to join them because I didn't want the man to feel he was the man you understand. So when the man went to a meeting with an admin officer. I don't know what happened. You know what he did? He slapped him right there at the meeting. Of course, the guy could not do anything, and because he was the deputy registrar, whatever, nobody could. We don't know whether the registrar did anything afterwards. Now, put yourself in that guy's shoes. Do you think he would have gone home happy? Do you think he would be happy the following day when he saw him? No. And you know what? The guy is loved now, to the glory of God, is a registrar of the university. Now, when this man retired, he came back and he was working as usual. And he saw a driver. And the driver did not meet him. And he said, oh, give me now. Yeah, maybe no pastor or Benny. Tani. Oh, for me, yeah, me introduce her right now. Now remember, if you could do that to an admin officer, what could you have done to change it? Now we should recollect, you should remember something. Life is a stage. When it's your time, you mount the stage. you do your bit, and after a while, you leave. As you are leaving, another person is smiling. So while you are in office, be nice to people. Do your best. Do not fight for yourself. There is a God in heaven who watches over the affairs of man. Let him be the one that will do the fighting for you. Now, that was the kind of man he was. But today, to the glory of God, is no longer in service. If you notice any of the following in your leadership staff, you may be losing your team members gradually. Number one, failure to build trust. One of the ways we do this is by showing that we don't trust our subordinates. This will in turn give them a fallacious impression that we don't believe in them. I have found out that when your staff know that you don't trust them with assignments, they become laid back, and you may end up doing the work alone. Right? If you don't trust me, why should I bother myself listening? So I will just sit in my pocket and enjoy my. Don't care. But if you entrust somebody with something, he would want to please you. So when he brings the assignment, whether he has not well or not, bless you. But come, I think next time, try and do it this way. Try and approach it this way. That when you give an assignment next time, he would try to please you. Now, and if you decide to be doing the work yourself, in no time you burn out. And when you are away from the office, when you suffer burnout, and sir, you decide that they should give you a room in one of the wards here, the money was not allowed to go anywhere because his BP is very high. Huh? I know you are very good at that. So, by virtue of your position, the office will run. The office will run. And it is those people you refuse to trust that will do the work. So, keep on with Java and something putting your wife. A sure antidote to this is giving them tasks and allowing them to do such tasks with very minimal supervision. They will of their own accord try to deliver optimally and win your trust. Inability to prioritize. When you notice it in your leadership side, you may not like me for this, but permit me to tell you that as an administrator, it is one of the most unpardonable sins to assume and treat all tasks as being equal urgency, a bit of equal urgency and importance. There is work. Yeah, every day you shout, hey, this is important. We have to do this. Hey. Before you know it, everybody has a way to put it together. I love you, but why? Doing this will not only slow down your work and hurt the entire office. Your team members will tire out faster, and God forbid, may visit the health center regularly because of exhaustion. Tasks should be categorized into immediate, urgent, and important. Okay? Not all tasks will be categorized as urgent. Of course, not all of them can also be categorized as important. You understand? When anything lands on the table, you are going to say, okay, which one should we address? Okay, because this one has a deadline, let's give it priority. But because this one is a routine thing that we only need to do and get into our archives, we can give. So when you do that, your people will know that, hey, this one that she has given us So first one, we should attend to. Now, when you do that, a task may be important and not urgent. Another may be urgent but not requiring immediate attention. An emotionally intelligent administrator will therefore put each where it belongs and treat accordingly. Yes, but at the same time, we must try to support them so that they could deliver. When they deliver on time, they'll be happy with us. So you don't come and be frowning his face like, we just you didn't come, okay. So let's all balance it. Now, not seeking impulse. The saying, no one is an island which has been tried. No one knows it all. So we should all learn from one another. As a leader, you will do well to allow everyone contribute to solving a problem by seeking their impulse. Not only will it boost the confidence of your members, it will stimulate team spirit and make them think ahead. When I was in the Registrar service in Europe, we were given a university-wide assignment. And I was like, oh, how would I do this? So I invited everybody in my office, including office assistants. Because I wanted all of us to be on the same page, to understand the task at hand. So I told them, I said it was not an official meeting, that it was a kind of family meeting. And everybody must speak. Do you understand? Because without the office assistants, if I toil day and night to get a task done, and it does not get to the end users, charity or time is fair. So I called everyone. So we looked at it together and we said, okay, this is the people that will start this and we'll pass to this. And because it was university-wide, so I had to allow my to work. How about the grace of God? We were committed. And so I learned from that everybody is important. Everybody is important. We should not be delusional and think, yes, I'm on top. You are on top. When you are coming down, you need a ladder to get down. And if the office assistant decides to remove the ladder, all of them will be standing afar off and be looking at you there. So let's treat one another very well. When you are found of taking all the credits, revisit your leadership style again. As leaders and administrators, let us not feel so insecure that we do not give credits when any subordinates do well. If you don't give credits when they do well and only point out their errors, in no time, you will dampen their morale and they will begin to see you as a professional critic. And before you even say anything, they are already judging you. They have closed up, they are not listening to you. You are just speaking over their heads. Because you are always criticizing. That is not a good spirit. You want to go that way. When you are not working smart, what do you mean by smart? Specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, time bound. They are just like, take this thing, go and do it for me. No. Why you give me such a job that should take me a week and you tell me you want it now, you know what I'll do? I'll throw it somewhere and I'll not do anything. Oh, we are going. That is the kind of responses we'll be getting from our subordinates when we are not realistic. When we don't give them, something they could achieve. We just give them a verbal, just one, get it to go. He needs a car to get it, but we are not providing. To give him money for transportation, we said no. Do you have a donkey somewhere that yes. So it is sensible to set clear expectations for each member and divide methods of measuring success levels. Why is emotional intelligence important at work? It will help you to perceive, understand and manage your emotions, work emotions, and those of others appropriately. Before you can deploy emotional intelligence, you must first of all understand your kind of person. For me, I will allow you to push me. I will give you excuses where people have done it. No, you know, I could take it for years. Do you understand? Why? Because I value relationships. He's my brother. I don't want him to. Is it for 10 minutes? I wouldn't want us to fight. But the day that we should talk about. That was how we did in 1942. Do you understand? That was how we say react immediately. I will tell him I'm not an Ekiti woman. Apologies to the Ekiti. Please remind me when I finish. He's going to give me money. Though emotional intelligence begins from within, that is, it helps you to recognize various aspects of your personal feelings and emotions. That recognition is what helps you to get along well with colleagues. Self-awareness. That's what we call self-awareness. You know who you really are. You know what makes you tick. You can only guide people well if you are in control of your emotions. Managing your emotions will guarantee happiness, eventually culminating in greater success at work. When you are happy, the people around you too, they'll feel it. They'll be happy. Emotional intelligence helps in decision making. To make sound decisions, you have to be emotionally balanced and intelligent. To manage conflicts effectively at the workplace, you also need emotional intelligence. Conflicts are inevitable at work, and they cannot be resolved if one is not in the right frame of mind. I normally tell them in my present office, Olayinka, they are here. We are going to fight. Because the advert did not state that you were looking for an angel. I did not see it on the advert. So I applied because I'm not an angel. So do not expect me to perform the functions that only angels can perform. But the point thing is, as soon as we fight, I just let's prepare so that we can fight another one very soon. Because we have to work together. We have to work together. And if I keep changing them, I'm giving myself headaches. So it's better I understand them. It's better I know that this is his area of strength. And here is his area of weakness. So where should I come in? I would rather stand where he is weak. So that when the thing is falling down, I will like, raise it up. Thank you. How to manage crisis at work? Ordinarily, this wouldn't be a model, but I would describe it as a bonus. A crisis is something nobody wants. They however need to be planned for. Remember, nobody wants a fire accident. Yes, we have fire extinguishers as strategic locations. To effectively manage crisis, a leader needs to be proactive. You don't need to wait until the crisis erupts. That is why you need to move close to those who are working with you. They will tell you things. They are, it's like, oh, you know, don't that. They're not the jack they do. So when you hear that one way, let you don't come out very early. You apply the brakes. is around one, call somebody, oh, Balogun. Yeah, and then go talk to them. But when you are on your high horse all the time, you don't see them, they greet you. You won't answer them. Or you won't tell them, hello. So we should detect signals. We should reduce risks. There should be damage control. When crisis eventually happens, take initiative to limit its spread. As much as possible. Don't allow crisis from festering. If you need to call them, let us sit down and discuss. Because at the end of the day, what that crisis will cost the institution and even yourself, you won't be able to explain it. So it's better we nip it in the bud. God will help us. Amen. Deploying emotional intelligence during crisis. To stand out as leaders, it is necessary to handle every crisis with emotional intelligence. First, a lot of self-engineering needs to be done. Emotionally intelligent leaders don't just emerge. They are people who have spent considerable length of time working on themselves. Secondly, your tolerance level needs to increase. Remember, being a leader, you are expected to have learned the ropes. And like they say, you cannot buy experience. You cannot buy experience. So in times of crisis, your experience or lack of it will show. You cannot see a university that will make a 30-year-old the registrar. Because it may be sound, it may be brilliant, but you require much more than brilliance to occupy that office and function well. You need experience. The following tips should help. Always be prepared. As leaders, we should be aware of the possibilities and opportunities around us, as well as how to judiciously utilize them for crisis prevention. B. Manage yourself first. When you see things you want to change in your staff, ensure they are not things you also need to change in yourself. If they are, the change should begin with you. In other words, manage yourself first. The first one I said, that you should be prepared. You should be prepared. There was a day when the vice chancellor's office of a university, and you know these guys now, this our union people, they so. But that day I just started and I was looking at them. The way they were talking to the vice chancellor, the way it was. As a point, the vice chancellor said, Registrar, do you have anything to say? Started with me. I said, no, sir. I don't have anything to say. And when they were leaving, their passing shot was, very young. Yàtà rò pé yóò tiẹ̀ rí kankan sọ tí ó tiẹ̀ sọ kankan pa ó lóun ò ní kankan sọ nígbà tó fi yẹn ní láàrin ọ̀rọ̀. So when I met the guy, maybe some days I said, so it pained you. I said, it's really painful that I did not say anything. Ṣèṣe ní ẹgbẹ́ sọ pé mo gbàdúrà fún yín o, gbàdúrà fún yín o, lókè òkú síbẹ̀ ṣé wọ́n tàbí sọ̀rọ̀ fún wa. So you know when it is crisis time, you should just didn't say anything about you. Just to get you angry. And he said, because he said something, I was like, You can see that when I lied now, she was only so that you're able to do what you want. You know? So we should prepare for crisis, but we should not go out looking for crisis. Okay? God will help us. Take your time before reacting to some issues. You need time. I will advise you take like 10 minutes to clarify your thoughts and actions. Never be hasty in your reactions. If they tell you something about someone, and they're like, oh, how dare you? You are not allowed him to say, oh, it's a gift. I don't take that. Don't you know me? Well, I will take it, you know. At the end of the day, you may be the one to apologize to that person. Because you have not given him time to explain what actually happened. And you have not even given yourself time to think about what happened. And you're not like, I will not take it. No, you can calm down. Am I talking about using your own career? Communicate effectively and professionally. Never send angry responses to mails. As much as possible, separate emotions from responses. Remember that the send button is very powerful, and sometimes the undo option is not available. Somebody sent something to me on Monday, and I called Olanike. I said, this person needs this done. Quickly, get it done for me today. And he ran all over the place just to get it done. He got it done. I said, okay, because this person needs this thing, scan it to me. And I forwarded it to the person. And you know what the person said? Don't let me repeat it. You know what I did? I blocked her. I blocked her on WhatsApp. Why? So that I will not be tempted to reply. Because what I will write will not be something I will be proud of later. You understand? But I will give it some time and I will block her. Emotional intelligence. You know, I will be proud of. And I'll be the one to say, I apologize. So, please, the undo button is not there. So, and it is difficult to retrieve what we have sent. Acknowledge your mistakes and those of others. And learn from them. When I was in the postgraduate school, University of Ibadan, I just had sounds outside, and I was like, somebody just burst into my office and said, yes, I was told you are the admissions officer, maybe a 60-year-old man. And I was like, please calm down, sir. He said, no. I said, please sit down. He said, I will not sit down. And he began, so I left him. And after a while, I said, sir, for whatever that has made you angry, I apologize. On behalf of the postgraduate school, on behalf of the University of Ibadan, on behalf of whomsoever could have annoyed you. He said, no. It's a matter of, I said, you please sit down, sir. Initially he said no, but after a while he sat down. And he explained what happened. He finished from the University of Ibadan several years ago. Then we were still taking P7 in English language. So he traveled out of the country for so many years. But for reasons we all know, he decided to come back. And his mates that are not professors advised him, we're really told you were around, come for your PhD, and before you, there are several universities now. So he came back. So he came for his learners to the postgraduate school, University of Ibadan. And when we got to the shadow officer that would clear him, he just said, no, we gave you this admission error, I cannot clear them. And I was like, no, you know the place very well. Then you have many people waiting for clearance. And he said, no, you can't tell me that now that it's my turn. She said, we cannot clear you, please have learning English now. And that was why the man got angry. I began to get angry. I said they should call the staff for me. And when the staff came, I said, you, Mrs. Kinko, how dare you talk to my customers like that? We are here because of them. You cannot afford to talk to him like that. Now, apologize. He just looked at me. He said, I am sorry, sir. I said, now leave my office. When she left, I said, she has apologized. Please let's forgive her. You know what I would advise you to do? Write a letter to the dean. I told him, of course, I knew he would not be able to assist him. You understand? But to make it feel like a not again. What's was weeping. And so he now told me, he said his wife and children were in the UK. And he came to start a farm. And somehow, he couldn't get anything out of the farm for obvious reasons. You understand? So he now said he should go back. She was not shouting at him again that I could not. I said, Baba, please. I apologize. I apologize. You know, he had every right to be angry. Emotional, because she did not deploy emotional intelligence. Yes, he did not qualify, but you don't need to shout it on the rooftop. So when we attend to people too, let us deploy emotional intelligence. Smile and give positive words of encouragement as much as possible. Try not to get angry over what you cannot change or influence. If it's the policy of the school, do I need to get angry? No, I cannot change it. Now, thank people. When they do anything for you, thank you. Okay? It goes a long way. Manage counterproductive tendencies. They say all fingers are not equal. Same goes with all members of staff. However, a manager knows the areas of strength of each and ensure they work from those areas, while recommending and ensuring training to overcome their areas of weaknesses will not be out of place. You understand? When we started taking, all the politicians from all over the world, they brought people. Not people that had university administration experience. Oh my God, somebody that had been secretary to Landlords Association for 18 years. They brought him to me. Okay, what miracle will I perform? You understand? But then I looked at a place that I felt, because he loves walking up and down. He has energy. But to now connect what the regulation says is his problem. And I said, okay, no wahala. I told my other, because my wife said I should just go in to the back of the desert. I should take him to the farm. I said, no, this is not Moses. Don't let him go to the farm. So I begged him. He said, okay, just go and do whatever you want to do. You know where I took him? I took him to the students' affairs. So we gave him a room there. So go manage to have to be. I didn't allow him to be sent away because he has a family. Rather, I concentrated on his strength. So, before we act, let us look at how we can assist those people before we begin to punish. Do you need emotional intelligence at home? Yes, we do. At home. Now, if emotional intelligence is required to succeed at work, then the higher level of it is needed at home. You will agree with me that not many people who have problems at home are effective in the office. They're not effective. When you have things bothering your mind from home, when you get to the office, what they want to be very moving. So it will show in your productivity. Now, some years back, I noticed that a young man was in my office was not delivering as much as he normally did. I watched him for a few days and noticed that his work was fraught with errors that he had gone beyond. And this was worrisome. So that Friday I just called him. I said, check it out, Friday. Check it out, Friday. No. So I called him into my office and I asked what the problem was. I asked him, I said, something is wrong. What is it? Thank you, So he said all was well, but from what I saw, he was not 100% his normal self. And then I posed the question, did you quarrel with your wife? He looked up and by the time he returned the gaze, tears rolled down his eyes. This is not fable. This is not story. This is true life. So he started crying. And he said, yes, ma'am. I told him to sit down. And took some minutes to advise him. I said, see, that's your wife, eh? She's the key to your happiness. Whether you like it or not. In fact, that day I remember that I told him, I asked him if he would go home so that he can settle with the wife. But he said he would handle it over the weekend. So when we came back on Monday, he was full of, we are okay now. And I asked him, and he said, so we need emotional intelligence much more at home. Emotional intelligence is therefore critical for building and maintaining strong, healthy relationships with our family and loved ones. An emotionally intelligent person will be able to do the following at home: communicate effectively. I was going out Sunday and I called my second mom. Then she was around doing me 10 or so. I said, now I'm going out. When I go outside, make it as if you guys are doing a party. Cook them 10 cups of rice. And I left. When I came back, I left my kitchen with her. I said, Kilo Shege. She said, no. You said I should cook 10 cups of rice. What I have done, I have given this, I have given. Jesus. I said, 10 cups. What? She said, okay, now you are confusing me. You gave me an instruction, I have that instruction. You know what I did? I just went to her. Because of course, I confused her. So at home, and she was ready to take me up on that. Of course, she's now a lawyer, so those cases were there when she was going on. So, go there and help me. You know, our children, they watch us. We should model good things in the house, even between us and our spouse. What we are modeling, they are watching us. Because youths, they come to me and they say, oh, you are telling us to go and marry. You are saying, what we are seeing around us, it's not encouraging. So what we do, we think they are not watching, they are watching us. They don't know Olanike praise the Lord. You know what we are doing at home, our children are watching. So when those times come that you feel, why my husband speak to me like that? How can my wife respond like that? When you enter your room, you get your son. Because those children are watching. And don't let us be the reason why they will say, marriage, like. God will help us. We should model healthy behaviors at home. We should manage emotions and behaviors. Many of us grew up in settings where we saw our parents as superhumans. It was only when we entered the adulthood stage that we began to see their filters. This was because they were emotionally intelligent enough to manage their emotions, thereby shaping us for challenges ahead. And at retirement, how important is emotional intelligence? The journey of 1,000 years, they say, starts when? So it is not when we are about to retire that we should begin to know that that's better. I was 65 in May, and now I'm running around to go and get a lot of land. And am I wise at all? We should start from the very first day. Okay, this is the amounts I'm being paid. How much of this should I spend? How much of this should I keep? When we decide to be on we have to not come making it next month. A time is coming that you begin to say, I have 48 months more. What then can we do? Retirement has been described as the action or fact of leaving one's job and ceasing to work. For many people in the civil service, it is a milestone many people dread, yet to look forward to. You don't want to look forward. The reasons are many, ranging from the departure from the profession that had become part of their identity for so long, to financial concerns due to reduced income and the fear of loneliness. Because I look at them and I pity them. Because the energy is not there for them again to begin to run after their friends. And their friends too do not have the energy to begin to look for them. So their going out is reduced. And we that we are still active, we do not have their time. We should make them our friends actually. In my church, I have some of them, I'll just send them prayers, I'll just encourage them. Yeah, this is not me, not really out of your letter. I'm looking. You know, trying to cut them, to make them my friends. Because that stage, I'm also coming to. And like I said at the beginning, whatsoever a man soweth. So let's be their friends, let's put our hands together for them. A doctor in Ibadan once spoke of a lecturer who resided in the university quarters and had to be hospitalized because his blood pressure kept rising. The man was to retire in the next 8 months and would need to vacate his official quarters. And you know what you have collectors here to remind you, you have to go back to. The professor came to fight me one day. He entered and said, where is the person that signed this letter? And my son was saying, what is this, sir? He started crying. If I mention his name, you know him. He's late now. Professor, have the request. So I was just carrying grandma in my office. I did not come out. Why? Because we told him he had overstayed in the university quarters. He retired like 5 years ago and he refused to move out. Now, this doctor I was talking about, his blood pressure, the lecturer, his blood pressure started going up because he had to leave the official quarters and his house was not ready. His personal house was not ready. That was, he was anxious. He was anxious. So we shouldn't wait till that time before we begin to make plans for our lives. We should actually make plans while we are still very agile. Okay? While it is good to retire before you retire, emotional intelligence at that stage is what will help to navigate a smooth transition into a new phase and help to fashion out a meaningful post-retirement way of life. What I mean by retiring before you retire is that you should make plans ahead. Try to envision the life you want to live in retirement. Where do you plan to live? What plan do you do to continue having a steady income? And how to ensure your spending is commensurate with the indicators. As much as possible, try to own a building. Let's look at that very well. What will help us? We shouldn't abandon our family members. At retirement, emotional intelligence helps us to manage emotions like excitement, loss, adjustment to a new status, and anxiety, all of which are associated with retirement by reducing stress and creating a smooth transition. Retirement period is not a time that we begin to look for another wife. Because I know a driver that retired in UI. And he just got himself a younger, very young babe. Of course, the marriage marriage did not last. The first pregnancy, she gave him a set of twins. I called him and I asked him why. Of course, he had his reasons. So what we know was, now advantages of emotional intelligence, I have said it, greater self-control, empathy. What do you mean by empathy? You put yourself in that person's shoes. Try and wear the shoes. You may be complaining. She says, no, do yourself. Put yourself, your legs in her shoes and see how it feels. Okay? Enhance leadership capability. Sharpened social skills. Better time management. Like a rounding of now. How do I develop emotional intelligence? Remind yourself that respect is earned and not demanded. Be mindful of your words. Reduce your negative emotion. Take criticisms well. Empathize. Be sure to respond and not react to conflict. Okay? Know what stresses you. Seek feedback and learn from others. Please note that saying no when you need to is also part of emotional intelligence, because your decision should be based on a holistic view. Yes, empathy has been correctly described as having one foot in someone's world, not both feet, because the empathy trap needs to be avoided at all costs, so that you don't just find yourself here. Okay, but be empathetic all the time. I used to give you an example. You don't know how to swim. You saw a brother drowning, and the next reaction and action is to jump into the, of course, the imagination. But the first brother, that one did not care. He just said, see brother John, he's been swept away by this river. No. That is not emotional intelligence. An emotionally intelligent person would rather speak to the brother. Oh, there is a trunk behind you. Put your 2 hands on the trunk. Hold on to it tight. Don't worry, I will call for help. And is there calling? Yes, this is our location. When you are coming, bring a long rope. When he has given them all they need to do. And when they come, the only thing they need to do is make a loop. Throw it to the man. Hold on to it. Put it on your leg. And you draw him out. That is emotional intelligence. The Lord will help us. Amen.